Okay, so today's recipe for gluten-free, diet-free, dairy-free diet for autistic children, or if your child is allergic to gluten, things like this. It depends, whatever, on the child, but this is a clean diet. I basically, we're gonna make a crock pot chicken, and it does not require skillets, pots. It just requires chicken and crock pot. So, and then spices. So for now, we're gonna be starting to cut the chicken. Basically, from one slice, what you're gonna do is cut the chicken in 4 pieces. Make sure you cut all the fat out, which I'm gonna do in a second, and then cut in 3 sideways. So, or in 4, it depends. You know, the smaller pieces are, the faster it'll cook. So I usually cut 1, 2, and 3, in 3 or in 4 if the chicken piece is too huge. So here I have 3 pieces of humongous breasts, chicken breast, and I actually cut not in 3, but in some of them in 5, some of them in 6. It all depends on the size, like I said. So yeah, this is 3 pieces right here. I cut about 7 pieces, 6, 7. So the chicken is in. I cut 5 pieces because the chicken was humongous. So now it's time for spices. For the spices, we will need 2-3 tablespoons of coconut oil, sprinkled ginger, powder ginger. I sprinkle just a tiny amount. I would say, like, tap it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's all. It depends on the dispenser. Black pepper, basil, of course, and onion powder, water, and sea salt. So we're gonna add coconut oil. 1, 2, 3. That's about it, what we need. For the ginger, this is the dispenser I have, and this is how much I would put. 1. See, it barely sprinkles. So I think I put a little bit too much, but it's okay, ginger is good. You would need black pepper, just sprinkle it. Not too much, I don't want the chicken to be too spicy. It's time for basil. And this is how much I would put. I would just take a spoon and kind of like, depends on whatever. I love basil, like I said, so this is kind of too much, so I'm gonna put it back in here. Just a tiny bit, whatever. Basil just gives that taste. I added onion powder because I can't hold the phone and whatever, I didn't film it. But I put half of the amount in my paw. Half of the amount of the basil that I did, so whatever, just put half of it in here or less, so I'll just give that little bit of extra kick to the meat. And of course salt. I use sea salt only, so I would salt the meat. It all depends on the way you want it. I mean, it could be a little bit over salted because you're gonna eat it with mashed potatoes or pasta or anything you think of. So I added a little bit more salt in there, and then the final step, it would be water, and then add water to it. That's about it. Just I used a cup of this water, and then mix it up and put it for 3.5 on the high heat. On a high heat, basically, for 3.5 hours. So the way in 3.5 hours, this is not the spoon I want to use. In 3.5 hours, basically, the meat will be like breaking up, and like it's gonna be not in huge chunks, but it's gonna be delicious. And And one more thing I forgot to add in here is this. It's bay leaves. I would add about 2 to 3, I would say 3 in this amount of chicken. So the bay leaves are in, and this is mixed already. And if you maybe in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, you can open it and taste it and see if the meat is has enough salt. So and if not, then you can just add a little bit, tiny bit to it. And this is coconut oil. It would melt. It's not going to be in chunks like this, but because I added cold water to it, it's still in chunks. It's like hard as rock. So yeah, alrighty guys, thank you for watching. And this meat, like I said, you can cook some pasta or whatever, like mashed potatoes, plain mashed potatoes, and add the chicken with some maybe salted pickles or salted tomatoes, and it's gonna be super delicious. This is I made this food even when Max was not on a diet, but because it's so clean, doesn't have anything illegal in there, I added to his everyday diet. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it. If you have questions, leave me a comment underneath, and please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you.